Literally just treating me like a human being was enough for me. You would be surprised how many people would just come up and be like, hey, why can't I get a reservation? Or, hey, you, do this for me. Like, no, actually I won't.
You know, one of the first things you learn about being a Disney cast member is there are a lot of ways to say things. You can say nice things mean ways. You can say mean things nice ways. You can say nice things mean ways, but nicely. And cast members, well, they know how to do all of those very well. Story time from Disney. Now, if you follow me on a regular basis, you know that I used to be a cast member. That's me! You see, Disney's created this form of beast. They've raised their prices to a point that the large portion of clientele that they get are people that don't see the issue with the price. And those people feel real special. So special, in fact, that they no longer think they need to use any type of social interaction with cast members because it's their vacation. And during their vacation, anybody that stands in the way of whatever they want to do is a criminal. And they don't fraternize with criminals. There was many a time that I was threatened. My favorite is when they'd say they'd meet me in the parking lot, but we don't even park in that parking lot. I'd always be like, let me know if you find my car. I'm sure you'll figure out which one's mine. Also, I love whenever they thought they could take me. For some reason, they get it in their head that because we're kind and talk to them nicely because it's our, job, that if they found us in said parking lot, we wouldn't knock their lights out. Please, please come find me. You see, for some reason, they take the kindness of cast members as weakness. The amount of times I've seen somebody arrested for physically assaulting a cast member and then act like, well, it was not that big a deal. But it's my family's vacation. How can I go to jail? How did you, on a family vacation, not think, maybe I shouldn't assault anybody? You see, they go into Disney World or Disneyland and they think, this place is fantastic and it's magical. Nobody gets arrested in a magical place. You're thinking of Grand Theft Auto, where you get bored of the main mission and the side mission, so you just start smacking people around. And I'd love to see how their thought process works, because I get upset and say sorry when I hit somebody in the elbow with my elbow. Cast members are not your plaything. They are not part of the scenery, even if people act like they are. And I can tell you, there was a lot of times people would just not even acknowledge your existence. Like back in the day at Mission Space, you used to have to stand outside the building and hand out these cards that said less intense or more intense. And I would have people that would literally push past me. And I'm not talking to like squeeze their way in. There was chains on both sides of me blocking the only entrance, and they pushed their way through. Then they'd get up to the top of the hill at the ride, and the people up there would say, hey, where's your ticket? And they'd be like, I don't have a ticket. No one gave me anything. So then they come back down the hill and be like, oh, I thought you were supposed to give me something. You're right. I was supposed to give you this card. Now I'm going to give you a waste of time. I would then take my spiel about what less intense and more intense means that takes me about 10 seconds to say, and I would make it a real meal. Normally I'd say something like, hey, do you want to go more intense or less intense? More intense will spin you at 35 mile an hour, putting G's on your body, and green will rock back and forth. Yeah, you ain't getting that short spiel now. Now you're getting it. All right. So there are two different attractions. A more intense version and a less intense version. And the one that's more intense will spin. You ever spun? Spinning? Well, that one's going to spin you real fast at 35 mile an hour. 35 doesn't seem real fast, but it's pretty fast when you're being spun. And the whole time they're standing there going, yeah, just give me a ticket, give me anything. And fun fact, most of the time when somebody says, just give me whatever card, I'd give them the more intense. Enjoy your bad choices. But in this situation, I would say something like, oh, sir, I don't want to put you in danger like that. It's important that you know all the information. Just add a real thick layer of flour to that gravy. What are you going to do, tell my manager that I explain the information too much? You know what, that's a great idea. You should stand over there. I'll call manager and we'll see when they get here. Treat cast members like humans. Honestly, that's the Disney secret. Cast members will go out of their way for you if you were just kind to them. But if you are not, we will go out of our way to make sure you don't get anything you want. I've had guests that were too early for their fast pass and I was going to let them in and then they got snarky with me. Phone almost up to my ear to tell them inside they're coming in and all of a sudden, phone doesn't work. You ever seen somebody tell a story about Disney and be like, every cast member was mean to me? That's because most likely, you're the problem. Because Disney writes their rules in a very liquid way. Unless it's safety critical, a lot of rules can be bent to help people out in whatever way we can. But also, you start getting snarky, and we can do everything in our power to make sure the rules are followed to a T. All of a sudden, your 2-hour early fast pass can't be used because the most you could go in early is 15 minutes. I don't care if the wait time's 20 minutes. At this point, because of your attitude, it'll be a much faster wait. Treat cast members with dignity, or they will find every loophole to make sure you don't have any dignity. But if you're treating cast members without dignity, you don't deserve any anyways. And that maths 100% of the time.
Mitch,